You hear about it all the time, right? Superbugs, antimicrobial resistance, it's a huge global threat. But have you ever stopped to wonder how doctors and scientists are actually fighting back? How do they make sure that a lab in one country is on the exact same page as a lab halfway across the world? Well, it all comes down to a single essential guide. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what it is and how it works, the CLSI M100.
So just picture this for a second. A patient is incredibly sick. Their life is hanging in the balance, and there are maybe a dozen different antibiotics that could be used. How on earth does a doctor choose the one that's actually going to work? Making the wrong call here isn't just a mistake. It could be the difference between life and death.
Well, thankfully, it is absolutely not a shot in the dark. The answer comes from a clinical microbiology lab, and their work is guided by this incredibly detailed, globally recognized playbook. This standard is what turns a potential guess into a decision that's totally driven by data and science. So let's dig into who's behind this whole thing.
So who actually writes this playbook? I mean, who are the people making the rules for this worldwide fight against bacterial infections?
The organization at the center of it all is the Clinical and Laboratory Standards Institute. Now, you'll almost always hear people just call it CLSI for short.
And who exactly is CLSI? Well, for starters, they're a nonprofit. Their whole deal is bringing together the smartest minds in laboratory medicine from literally all over the globe. We're talking scientists, doctors, industry pros, you name it. Their mission is to push for excellence, and the way they do it is through something called the consensus process. Basically, they get all these experts in a room, virtually or physically, to agree on the single best way to do these tests. This is so important because it ensures that labs everywhere get consistent, reliable results.
And really, their own tagline just nails it. They are, quite literally, setting the standard for quality for the entire planet. When a lab says they follow CLSI standards, you know they're operating at the highest level there is.
Okay, so to really get a handle on the M100, you've got to learn to speak its language. So let's break down the most important concepts, the absolute foundation for every decision that comes from this guide.
The single most important word you need to know is breakpoint. Seriously, everything hinges on this. Think of it as a clear line in the sand for every antibiotic against every type of bacteria. If the test result falls on one side of the line, the drug will probably work. If it falls on the other, it probably won't. That's it. It's a simple, powerful concept.
And this table right here shows you exactly how that line in the sand works. So a lab does a test and gets a number. That number might be an MIC, which is just the smallest amount of a drug needed to stop bacteria from growing. Or it could be a zone diameter, which is how big of a keep-out zone the antibiotic creates on a petri dish. The lab tech takes their number, and they just look it up on this chart. So for our drug X here, if their MIC result was, say, 2, well, that's less than or equal to 4, so the bacteria is susceptible. But if they got an MIC of 32, that's resistant. It's a straightforward lookup system that takes all the guesswork out of it.
And what do these categories actually mean for the patient? Think of it like a traffic light. Susceptible is the green light. Go for it, the standard dose of the drug should work. Resistant is a hard red light. Stop, do not use this drug, it's not going to work. And intermediate, that's the yellow light. It means proceed with caution. The drug might work, but you're not as sure. This is often the case if you can safely use a higher dose, or if the drug gets super concentrated in one part of the body, like in the urinary tract.
All right, now that we've got the language down, let's see how the playbook itself is actually put together. And trust me, it is all about the tables.
You see, the M100 isn't a book you read cover to cover. It's really a massive, incredibly detailed collection of data tables. These tables are the tools that lab professionals are using every single day to guide doctors to the right answers. And you can basically boil the whole document down to two main types of tables. The Table 1 group answers the first big question: what should we test? So if a lab finds, say, E. coli, these tables tell them which antibiotics are the most important ones to check. Then, the Table 2 group answers the second question: how do we interpret the results? This is where you find those all-important breakpoint numbers we just talked about, for every single bug-drug combination imaginable.
But hang on a second. With the patient's life on the line, how do we know the lab's test results are even right? I mean, how can we trust them? That is where quality control, or QC, comes in.
It's a really fair question, isn't it? Things can go wrong. Reagents can go bad, machines can drift out of calibration, people can make mistakes. So how does a lab make sure its whole system is working perfectly before they even touch a real patient sample? They do it with a QC check, and it's a non-negotiable part of every day. First, they test a very specific, standardized strain of bacteria, one where they already know what the results should be. It's like the answer key for the test. Second, they take their result and compare it to special QC tables in the M100, which give them an acceptable range. Finally, if their number is inside that range, great, they get the green light to start testing patient samples. But if it's not, everything stops. No patient results go out until they figure out what's wrong and fix it. This process is what guarantees the accuracy and reliability of every single result.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a minute and pull all of this together. Why is this one document so incredibly important for all of modern medicine?
I think this quote from the M100's own introduction says it all. This isn't just some technical manual for scientists. Doctors at the patient's bedside are depending on this information to make life-saving decisions. The M100 is really the foundation of trust between the clinician and the lab.
And on a global level, what it does is create a universal language. Because the M100 exists, a susceptible result from a lab in Tokyo means the exact same thing as one from a lab in Toronto or Cape Town. This kind of standardization is absolutely critical for tracking resistance around the world, for developing new drugs, and, most importantly, for making sure every patient gets the best care, no matter where they are.
And here's a crucial point. This is not a document that gets written and then sits on a shelf for 10 years. The M100 is a living, breathing document. It gets updated pretty much every single year. Why? Because the bacteria are constantly evolving, finding new ways to outsmart our drugs. So as they change, the experts at CLSI analyze all the new data and update the playbook to make sure it always reflects the reality we're facing right now.
And that really leaves us with the final thought. This whole fight against superbugs, it's a race. It's a constant back and forth. The bacteria evolve, and we develop new strategies. The rigorous, collaborative, and ongoing process behind the CLSI M100 is our single best tool for making sure our playbook evolves right alongside them, keeping us, we hope, always one step ahead. Thanks so much for joining me for this breakdown.